The 1980s, a decade of bold pronouncements, shoulder pads, and a resurgence of painting. Neo-Expressionism exploded onto the art scene. Centered in New York and Germany, it embraced raw emotion, vivid color, and figurative imagery. A stark departure from minimalism and conceptual art. Neo-Expressionism rediscovered painting's power to communicate primal human experiences. Inspired by abstract expressionism and German expressionism, embracing gestural brushstrokes and raw emotional intensity, Neo-Expressionism was about feeling the artist's inner world on canvas, a scream of color and gesture demanding to be heard. By the 1970s, the art world had become somewhat fixated on ideas. Minimalism, with its stark geometries and industrial materials, emphasized concept over emotion. Conceptual art, as its name suggested, prioritized the idea behind the artwork over its physical form. While these movements had their own merits, they often left viewers feeling cold, detached, even alienated. Something was missing, the human touch, the pulse of feeling. Neo-Expressionism emerged as a direct challenge to this intellectualized approach. Artists of this new generation yearned for a return to emotional honesty, to the directness of personal expression. They weren't afraid to be messy, even ugly, if it meant conveying a truth about themselves or the world around them. This wasn't about creating art for the elite few who understood the latest theoretical jargon. Neo-Expressionism was about communication, about speaking to a wider audience in a language that resonated with primal human experiences: love, fear, anger, joy, sorrow. It was a messy, vibrant language full of contradictions and complexities, just like life itself. What did this new language of feeling look like? Neo-Expressionist canvases were large-scale, demanding attention. Filled with bold, gestural brushstrokes, they returned to the physicality of painting. Color exploded across canvases, echoing emotional intensity. Figuration returned with a vengeance. Figures were often distorted, fragmented, even grotesque, reflecting anxieties of Cold War tensions and social upheaval. Symbolism played a key role. Artists borrowed from mythology, history, and popular culture. Their paintings invited viewers to unravel layers of meaning and emotion. No discussion of Neo-Expressionism would be complete without mentioning Jean-Michel Basquiat. Emerging from the vibrant New York City art scene of the late 1970s, Basquiat's meteoric rise and tragic death at 27 cemented his status as a cultural icon. His work, a powerful blend of street art, social commentary, and art historical references, continues to resonate with audiences today. From his early days as the enigmatic graffiti artist Samo, Basquiat possessed an innate understanding of the power of symbols. He combined words, phrases, and images in a way that was both playful and profound.
My work celebrated Black identity and culture, while also critiquing the racism and social injustices I saw around me. I loved juxtaposing images of crowns and heroes alongside skulls and police cars, creating a visual language that was both celebratory and searingly critical.
Section 5. Anselm Kiefer, Confronting History on Canvas. In Germany, Anselm Kiefer grapples with history.
Born in the final year of World War II, my work is deeply informed by the Holocaust.
His canvases, using materials like straw and ash, evoke destruction and memory.
My art is confrontational, challenging viewers.
He forces us to ask difficult questions about guilt and responsibility, but within the darkness there is hope.
My work suggests the human spirit can endure.
Section 6. Francesco Clemente, Bridging Cultures, Exploring Identities. Italian artist Francesco Clemente brought a distinctly global perspective to Neo-Expressionism.
My work drew inspiration from a variety of sources, including Indian miniatures, Renaissance frescoes, and American pop culture.
Clemente moved fluidly between mediums, creating paintings, drawings, and even collaborations with traditional Indian miniaturists.
Central to my work is the exploration of identity, both personal and cultural. My figures, often depicted in states of fragmentation or metamorphosis, reflect the fluidity and multiplicity of the self in a world increasingly defined by globalization and cultural exchange.
Clemente's paintings are sensual, dreamlike, and often infused with a playful eroticism. His use of color is particularly striking, drawing from the vibrant palettes of both India and Italy.
My work invites us to embrace the beauty of cultural hybridity and to celebrate the richness and complexity of human experience in all its forms.
Section 7, Georg Baselitz, Upside Down and Inside Out. German artist Georg Baselitz is perhaps best known for his upside-down figures.
By inverting my subjects, I challenged traditional notions of representation and forced the viewer to see the world from a new perspective.
He argued that by disorienting the viewer, he could draw attention to the painting itself, to its formal qualities of color, line, and composition.
My work is characterized by a raw, almost primal energy. My brushstrokes are bold and expressive. My figures often distorted and fragmented.
He wasn't afraid to explore themes of sexuality, violence, and the darker aspects of human nature. His art was a provocation, a challenge to the status quo.
My upside-down figures became a powerful metaphor for a world turned on its head. They spoke to the disorientation and uncertainty of the post-war era, to the feeling that the old rules no longer applied.
Baselitz's art was a call to action, an invitation to see the world with fresh eyes and to question everything.
Myth and irony in a postmodern world. Italian artist Sandro Chia brought a sense of playful irony to Neo-Expressionism. My work often featured mythological figures and themes, but they were presented with a distinctly postmodern twist.
Chia's heroes were flawed, his gods comical, his narratives fragmented and open-ended. His paintings are filled with a sense of movement and energy. His figures are often depicted in mid-stride, as if caught in the act of becoming.
My use of color is bold and expressive, my brushstrokes loose and gestural. I combined elements of classical art, Renaissance painting and cartoon imagery, creating a unique visual language that was both playful and profound.
His work embraced the contradictions and complexities of the postmodern condition. He celebrated the fragmentation of narratives, the blurring of boundaries between high art and popular culture.
My art reminded us that even in a world seemingly devoid of meaning, we can still find moments of beauty, humor, and even transcendence.
Enzo Cucci, another key figure in Italian Neo-Expressionism, drew deeply from his country's rich artistic heritage. His work is infused with references to Etruscan art, Roman frescoes, and the Italian Renaissance. But these historical allusions are always filtered through Cucci's own unique sensibility, resulting in a body of work that is both timeless and utterly contemporary. Cucci's paintings are characterized by a sense of primordial mystery. His canvases are populated by enigmatic figures, hybrid creatures, and symbolic objects. His palette is often earthy and muted, evoking the landscapes of his native Italy. His work invites us to contemplate the interconnectedness of past and present, the enduring power of myth, and the mysteries that lie at the heart of human existence. His art speaks to the enduring power of the land, the way in which history is embedded in the very soil. His paintings are like archaeological digs, unearthing layers of meaning and memory. Cucci's work reminds us that even in our modern world, we are still connected to the ancient rhythms of nature and the cyclical patterns of history. While Neo-Expressionism may have peaked in the 1980s, its influence continues to resonate in contemporary art. The movement's emphasis on personal expression, its embrace of figuration and symbolism, and its willingness to engage with social and political issues paved the way for subsequent generations of artists. The legacy of Neo-Expressionism can be seen in the work of artists like Cecily Brown, Marlene Dumas, and George Condo, all of whom explore the complexities of the human condition through figuration and expressive brushwork. The movement's influence can also be felt in the work of street artists like Banksy and Shepard Fairey, who use imagery and text to engage with social and political issues in public spaces. Neo-Expressionism's impact extends beyond the realm of painting. The movement's energy and emotional intensity can be felt in other art forms such as music, fashion, and design. The 1980s witnessed a surge in expressive and experimental approaches across creative disciplines, a trend that continues to this day. Neo-Expressionism was more than just an art movement, it was a cultural phenomenon. It reflected a time of great social and political change, a time when people were hungry for authenticity and emotional connection. The movement's legacy lies in its reminder that art can be a powerful force for expression, communication, and even social change. In a world increasingly dominated by technology and the virtual, Neo-Expressionism's emphasis on the handmade, the personal and the emotionally resonant feels more relevant than ever. The movement's bold colors, expressive brushstrokes and willingness to tackle difficult subjects continue to inspire and challenge viewers today. Neo-Expressionism reminds us that art doesn't have to be cold, distant or purely intellectual. It can be messy, passionate and deeply human. It can make us feel, think and question the world around us. And in a world that often feels increasingly uncertain and fragmented, that is a powerful legacy indeed.